What's up, Saiyan Army? Welcome to the video. So honestly, never in a million years did I ever think I'd be making this type of video on my channel. But here we are. So the main reason for this video is one, to give you guys an update on where I've been. Haven't posted a video in a couple weeks. I know I haven't been as consistent as usual, and I apologize for that, but I just kind of wanted to explain where I've been. Two, I wanted to bring awareness to what happened with Akaza, as we'll talk about very soon. As in a lot of cases, especially in the mainland where it's very uncommon, if it's caught too late, can lead to, it can just be bad.
Yeah.
And three, just to kind of detail our journey with this for those of you who may find this video through recommendations and are looking for, you know, just someone to talk to, someone to relate to, because one of the things that we did once we found out about this is, you know, we're just scared and we didn't really know who to talk to, who to, you know, it was just hard researching everything. So.
Yeah.
So one morning, or actually one afternoon, Akaza woke up from one of his naps, and Sandra noticed he felt a little warm.
Yeah, he felt warm and he was still acting normal, but he didn't have any flu-like symptoms. So we're just like, maybe it's just a fever from teething or something like that.
That's our first thought, because he's teething hard right now.
Yeah. So we just gave him some Tylenol that day. He took another nap, woke up in sweats, so we knew the fever broke. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, he still had a fever. And this time, he had this like huge lump on his neck.
Yeah, so we're looking it up. We're scared. We've never seen that before. Yeah. Online, it said it could be an inflamed lymph node. Worst case scenario, it could be a cyst. So either way, it was something out of the ordinary. So we immediately contacted our pediatrician.
Yeah, but it just so happened to be Friday, so he didn't respond. And Friday night comes, Akaza had a fever, he was very fussy, his skin color started changing, he looked just more in distress. We gave him Tylenol a couple times throughout the night. His fever was still there, he was super fussy, he barely slept, kept waking up, and it was just unusual for him because he sleeps through the night.
Yeah, by the next day the lymph node went from it got bigger. It got bigger and it got red and inflamed.
And his eyes looked red that day. His lips looked red. And that was all prior to us going to the ER. And when we got to the ER, all these other symptoms started exploding on him. Like, he just looked so bad.
So we went to the ER, and basically they diagnosed him with Kawasaki disease, a disease that I've never heard of in my life. We didn't know, both of us didn't know existed prior to this. None of my family members, as far as I know, have gotten it before. None of her family members. The cause is still unknown. They don't know. It's a very rare disease. So what is Kawasaki disease? It's a rare illness that causes inflammation in the blood vessels, which can lead to coronary artery aneurysms, and is the leading cause of acquired heart disease in children. So typically children from the ages of 1 through 5 get it, but there are cases where adults, people older, and obviously kids younger. And Akaza being only 5 months old, this was our odd case.
Yeah.
Fortunately for us, we live in Hawaii, where there is a lot of Asians here, because Kawasaki disease, for whatever reason, they think a lot of the causes that they think is genetics.
Yeah.
So anyways, we have a lot of cases in Hawaii, so they immediately knew what it was. They brought an infection doctor in, and he checked off all the symptoms. So this is what you're gonna look for if you guys aren't sure. And this is also to bring awareness. So like if you know someone that has a baby that's maybe going through this, or your child is maybe going through this, then now you know what it is, because a lot of times this disease is so rare. Like,
it's misdiagnosed easily. Yeah.
I think the number is like 5 to 9 out of 100,000 kids in the US get it each and every year, which is very little. So a lot of doctors don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
So one, you're gonna look for red eyes.
Yep.
2, you're gonna look for red lips. 3 strawberry tongue. There's sometimes little white bumps on their tongue. Akaza didn't really have the white bumps, but
He did have like redness throughout his mouth and his lips and his
yes,
tongue.
swollen hands and feet, and a rash typically around their chest and groin. And he checked everything.
Yeah, all
And
those
obviously
things.
a fever. So the sad cases in the mainland a lot of times, which is what I read online, is they don't diagnose you until you had a fever for 5 days already.
Yeah.
And that's a long time.
To not break, right? And it's usually a high fever. Like Akaza's fever hit like 103, 104 at one point.
But there are many cases where it's like 105.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to hear.
Yeah.
So once we got the news, yeah, we were just pretty much heartbroken.
Yeah, we didn't really know where to turn to. Like, we just kind of had each other and the internet. Like, we were Googling all these symptoms that he had, and it was just so sad being in the hospital, seeing him so sad and like hurt, you know? They
Yeah.
did a lot of blood draws on him. He had to be put to sleep several times throughout the stay.
For all the echo.
Yeah, for all the echocardiograms that confirmed that he had an inflamed artery in his heart. So it's just a long process just being there bedside and having people bother him throughout the hospital stay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, and it was just tough. Like, she had it a lot harder than I did because we have, for those of you guys who don't know, we have a Kame who's our soon-to-be 2-year-old. Unfortunately, my parents were in Vegas, which is just bad timing. But fortunately, I had other family that helped us babysit Akame and stuff while I went to the hospital and was with them. I still had to come back and get Akame for a night and all that stuff. So for really, like, thank God we were able to like figure that out.
At our hospital here, anyone under 18 can't come to the hospital or go into the rooms. Like, it's just a protocol since COVID, and it's just been really hard for us. Yeah, like, I couldn't see Akami too much. He couldn't see Akaza too much, and like, it was just really hard. Like, that week felt like forever.
It felt like an eternity, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the hardest things ever because Akaza would be like, he would have this like sad cry. It wasn't like a screaming cry. It was just like this sad cry, like he's in pain. And he would just look at you. And babies, when they look at you, they kind of look at you like you're supposed to be there to make things better, to make them feel better, to solve the problem. And it's like, all you can do is comfort them. Like, there's nothing we could do, you know? For those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, already know all this and what happened, but like, it's one of those things where you just wish you could take all their pain away and just put it on yourself, you know? And just make things better. But you can't, and all you can do is wait. And it's a lot of testing and waiting, testing and waiting. And I think honestly, every time I visited, I felt like this might be the last time that I ever see, you know, my son. And I'd come home and just not being there, it was just tough, you know? Like, you can only pray for the best.
It was really hard for us. Like, just everything. And I wouldn't want anyone to go through what we did. And especially have it misdiagnosed. That's like the worst part about all this. And we're just so grateful we caught it a little earlier. But his heart is still inflamed. Like, he still has an inflamed artery. So from this point on, we just have to manage his symptoms, manage him.
Yeah. So really quick, for those of you who may be going through this, may have found this video through recommendations, whatever, who maybe have a child going through Kawasaki disease. First thing they did was they diagnosed him. Secondly, they put him on IVIG, which is the most common treatment for Kawasaki disease. And everything started getting better after the IVIG. Things were looking good. Then right before he hit that 24-hour mark, which is usually like the time frame that they want to see progress and no fever and the symptoms starting to get better, he broke into another fever. From there, the doctor said they have to start a new treatment. The new treatment was Remicade. They said Remicade usually typically solves the problem. There's no alternative after that.
Yeah.
They said, because we asked them like, oh, what if it doesn't work? You know, we're asking them a ton of questions. We just want to know that our son's going to be all right, you know? And fortunately, after he took the Remicade, everything started looking better.
Yeah, like he
His
got
symptoms, his fever went away.
his fever never came back.
Yeah.
So till this day, like he's
Yeah,
fever
his hands and
free.
feet started getting better. The rash started going away.
Yeah.
He started acting a little bit more like himself.
Yeah, like the whole hospital stay, he didn't eat. He was on IV fluids the whole time because
Yeah, the whole week he
wouldn't
didn't eat
drink
at all.
milk.
He wouldn't drink.
And-
And they were forcing, they weren't forcing, but they were giving him medicine
orally.
orally. So anytime someone put anything toward his mouth, he would just immediately turn because he thought it was going to be medicine. And they're doing it multiple times a day. And each time he'd be screaming the entire time.
Crying, and it's so sad because it sounded like he was like choking on the medicine at some point. Like it's just hard to force a baby to like take something they don't
swallow.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to see that all
And-
the time. And his veins are so small, so getting blood drawn was really hard. He had to get multiple IVs done, and just being through all that and watching all that, like you don't want to watch it, but you also want to be there for your baby. Just seeing him in so much pain was hard.
Yeah. But after he passed that 48-hour mark of no fever, that was the kind of rules for discharge. There are two main things they want to see for discharge, or three main things. One is obviously progress in the symptoms. Two is no fever for 48 hours. And three is they need him to start eating again.
They needed to do one more ultrasound of his heart to make sure that it didn't get larger. So that was the last thing we did
Yeah.
before we left.
So yeah, fortunately, Akaza checked all the boxes. The last echo, we were hoping it would have showed it smaller, but it was pretty much the same.
Yeah, so they said since it's stable and it didn't enlarge, we're able to go home.
So right now we're in the acute phase of Kawasaki disease, which is also the scariest phase because this is the phase where they can get aneurysms, heart attacks, all that horrible stuff. So like the coast isn't clear. However, Akaza is acting very much like himself. He is a little bit more fussy, but he's sleeping through the night. He's eating.
Yeah.
He's not quite eating as much as he was before, but he's still eating. He's smiling, laughing,
Yeah.
and
It's just so happy to see him like looking more like himself every day.
yeah, we're just so happy to have our little boy home. The coast isn't clear. We just did a follow-up echo. We're still waiting on the doctor to call us back. We probably have another echo in the next week where they have to put him to sleep, drug him, put him to sleep again, and scan him. Hopefully everything looks all good and is improving. And yeah, we're probably gonna have another one in the 4 to 6 week mark, and probably periodically
Throughout the years that
throughout the years, until everything's back to normal. And even then, they still probably want to monitor here and there. The good thing is we did catch it early, so we're hoping for a full recovery. That's pretty much the end of the video. We'll update you guys through like vlogs and stuff as we go, and on his progress and how he's doing and everything, and show our smiling, happy, laughing baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love and support. A lot of you guys reached out through DMs
Yeah.
on Insta and everything, and yeah, I just truly appreciate all the love and support. We do hope this video can help some people who are maybe going through a similar hard time,
Yeah, definitely.
or people who maybe haven't caught it, and now you know about it, so now you can help someone. Every day is a blessing, as I posted. Every day is a blessing. We are so happy to have our kids home, happy,
And healthy-ish.
yeah,
Healthy.
and getting healthy.
And getting healthy.
Yeah, Okame's healthy, but he's getting healthy, and yeah, see you guys in the next one.